It's been a lot easier to maintain my weight since Progressive Medical Center started treating me with all natural supplements, learning proper nutrition, and that can be you today. No more frustrations about being tired or overweight. So why don't you get a hold of Progressive Medical Center today through progressivemedicalcenter.com.
This is your life, live it well.
The Last Battle is the show where we explore the latest and greatest on leadership, advocacy, science, and therapies in the battle against cancer. On The Last Battle, we'll be exploring with global innovators and leaders the many exciting developments driving optimism in the world of cancer. Great thanks for listening as we move forward with The Last Battle, a Cloudcast Media production.
Welcome back to The Last Battle, where we explore leadership, advocacy, science, and therapies to give us all reason for hope in the years ahead in the battle against cancer. We're back here with Lizzie Wittig from Komen San Diego. Lizzie,
thank you.
I want to say first and foremost, thank you so much for that last minute and tell us your personal journey. Because it's so important in life for folks to find their passion, as we were talking off air, because it really allows you to perform so much better, because it's deep in your heart and deep in your soul.
Yes.
And it also doesn't feel like work. So imagine Komen probably gets more like 72 hours a week out of you than But thank you for sharing, because it's so important to hear those stories, and the 6 extra years with your mom, and lobbying and together, and she's got to be so proud of you. So thank you for sharing that with us. So let's get back to the great Susan G. Komen. A lot of people may or may not realize this, but you're the largest funder of breast cancer research in the United States, other than government aid, United States government, let's say. The success is amazing. So, but the burden of success is you have to lead. So give me a feel for how you lead on this issue, both locally and the United States, in breast cancer research, because you're super successful. Largest funder I mentioned of breast cancer research, $20 million alone here in San Diego since in the last 20 years, I believe.
Yes.
And by the way, I want to another tip my hat. My understanding is you and your teams over the years have raised $900,000.
Yeah, I'd have to go back and add it up. We're a little over that now, but
that is incredible. So you've raised almost $1 million for breast cancer research here in San Diego.
Yes, well, it's been a little over a decade, but
but that's incredible.
Yeah, well, and that's we are so fortunate. San Diego is such a community of giving and philanthropy, and there are so many donors and sponsors that are committed to this cause and are doing this work with us.
Right, so your leadership and advocacy, because I have to believe a core component of your goal here in San Diego is to create more Lizzie Wittigs. Seriously, to identify more Lizzie Wittigs that are passionate about it, that can produce more funding for research, more funding for patient advocacy. So give us a feel for how you drive this advocacy and volunteerism to identify the next generation of Lizzie Wittigs.
Well, first off, our office is a small but lean, mean team of
led by your great executive director.
Yes, Shana Gross. Mm-hmm. She's amazing, and there are only 9 of us total. So we heavily rely on volunteers, every age. So the next generation is definitely important, and we want to make sure that people are passionate and engaged in this cause. But our volunteers today too are just so amazing. We wouldn't be able to do any of the work that we do without them. So,
and that's important for funders to know and donors to know this, that you're a lean operation, because
absolutely.
The last thing you want is 19 people and all the because all that extra money you're saving goes into research. Because you run a lean operation.
Right. I mean, it does take staff to do the work, and that's important. Yeah, but we do want to be good stewards of the money, and we want to make sure that as much of it as possible is going to the free resources here in San Diego County, the breast cancer patient financial assistance, transportation assistance, free mammograms, free diagnostic tests, all the great stuff that we fund here and provide, and then also our international research. That's where the breakthroughs are coming from and where the next steps in progress are going to be coming from. So we really want to focus Komen as an organization has a bold goal. We want to cut the number of people that die from breast cancer every year in half by the year 2026.
I became aware of that goal, and I have to tell you, I'm so happy you've made it so concrete,
yes,
and tangible and measurable. And there are a lot of, I'm going to put a different hat on, there are a lot of nonprofits that aren't that specific and don't want to be necessarily measured against their benchmarks. And I want to just really take my hat off to Komen San Diego for being that precise. Here's our goal, and here's what we're marching toward. And then you can be able to report back to the folks who you're investing money on behalf of donors that, hey, here's what we've done. We may have done better. We may have fallen a little short. And here's how we're going to continue to improve. But I love the fact that you've been so specific with your goals. How did you come up with, the organization come up with that particular goal?
So we have a great board and task force that has our scientific advisors and just experts in this field that really sat down and thought about this for over a year and talked about not only what was feasible, but what was achievable while still reaching. And so this is definitely an achievable goal, and we know that we're going to get there through two ways. We're funding breakthrough research, so being able to find ways to prevent and cure breast cancer, but also by ensuring that everyone, all people, get the care that they need. And that's why what we do here on the community level is so important. And we do that across all of our affiliates. We are mostly in the U.S., but we are an international organization as well in terms of research funding and our services and our affiliates where we're located. So we're working on this worldwide.
Give us a feel here in San Diego, because your work here in San Diego is vast and variety of different services. How do you work with a lot of community partners to deliver your actual services? Tell us a little bit about how you actually deliver what it is you're delivering to the community.
Yeah, absolutely. We collaborate a lot with other community partners in terms of community clinics or federally qualified health centers or other breast cancer organizations. We are unique in that Komen as a whole, and here in San Diego we do this as well. We study the community and do an in-depth needs assessment every 4 to 5 years. So we're really looking at the quantitative and the qualitative data, who's being diagnosed with breast cancer, at what age, how much money do they have, what were the barriers they faced, what did they and their family think they needed or not had, or what was really great as a resource to them. And we take all that information, and that's what we use to figure out what programs we fund and what resources we provide. So we by no means think we are the smartest people in the county and just sit down and decide this sounds great.
Well, I think you are the smartest people in the county.
But, well, thanks. But we definitely need to study and know accurately what's going on in the community and where the needs are so that we can bridge those gaps and build that safety net.
Speaking of bridging gaps and accuracy, clear up a misconception in the world of breast cancer. And because you're Susan B. Komen nationally, tremendous advocates, tremendous success. Is there some perception that, wow, we can move on to the next cancer? We think we've licked breast cancer. I know that's not correct.
Right.
But that's the success you've had in terms of some people have a misconceived notion now.
Right. Yeah. So over the past 3.5 decades, a lot has changed, and a lot of that, because of Komen and the organization, the whole culture around breast cancer. I mean, you used to not even be able to say the words breast cancer on radio or TV or in a newspaper, and that's changed so much because of leaders like Susie Komen and wanting to set this out, and Nancy Brinker and people like that. But it is still something that people are dying from. There are over 41,000 people every year in the U.S. dying from breast cancer, and that's just unacceptable. And that's the reason we're still committed to this. And we're committed to funding the research and funding the programs and the resources needed to make sure people get access and have the care that they need. So I'm pretty sure the statistic is about 1/3 of all breast cancer deaths could be prevented if they were diagnosed earlier and given better, more effective treatment earlier. So it's definitely something that's an urgent need and something that we still need to focus on. Yes, we've made a ton of progress, and that's amazing. And I'm so glad for that, but we still have not reached the finish line.
Well, again, you're the epitome of a great organization in that excellence and the goal is never really attained. You have to keep moving that goalpost because we can always do better.
Right.
There's always benchmarks where we think there's an improvement. Because I know you want to reduce the deaths by 50% by 2026. Is it also part of your mission to also improve the quality of care and the quality of life during the treatment phase for breast cancer patients?
Yeah, absolutely. We're really excited to be announcing this year that 100% of our competitive RFA research grants are focused towards metastatic breast cancer and drug resistance. And that equals about 70% in our overall research. But we are still funding things along the whole continuum from prevention to survivorship. We know that it's great if we can save lives, but we talk about side effects, and I think it's Dr. Susan Love who talks about them instead as collateral damage, because they're things that don't go away after treatment is done, and that becomes a new normal for breast cancer survivors. And looking at ways to mitigate those or to prevent them in the first place to improve somebody's quality of life, not only while they're going through treatment, but afterwards during their survivorship, is really important and something we've always looked at.
Oh, it's great information. I'll have to touch on that when we come back. Well, you've been listening to The Last Battle, show developed by Dr. Joe Raffa. We're here today with Lizzie Wittig from Komen San Diego, and we'll be back in a few minutes to continue the deep dive and dig in a little bit more about the great work of Komen San Diego.
Hey, do you want a great price on a new or used car? Hi, this is professional racing driver Don Swanson, and I know a thing or two about cars. I'm talking about Military Auto Center, San Diego's original and only automotive warehouse where low overhead means low prices on your next vehicle. Stop by and experience a friendly and casual way to discuss your car needs. They're located conveniently at 9323 Activity Road. You can call them at 858-831-7887 or online at militaryautocenter.com. We'll see you there.
Do you want to be a professional coach? Are you in business trying to make a real difference with people you manage or work with? Have you started a coaching practice that isn't quite getting off the ground? Get the skills you need to be a successful coach today with the Coaches Training Program from Accomplishment Coaching. The Coaches Training Program will show you how to help others focus and be more fulfilled. Whether you want to improve your company's bottom line or create a thriving coaching practice, Accomplishment Coaching can give you the distinctions and practices you need to coach others effectively today. Accomplishment Coaching has spent 6 years developing a cutting-edge coaches training program that will have you ready to coach people professionally in just 12 months, and you don't have to take time off work to do it. To find out more about the Coaches Training Program, just call 1-888-548-6813. That's 1-888-548-6813.
Video consumption is on the rise. So, to reach this audience, Construct Tech Magazine created Construct Tech TV. Construct Tech TV helps construction professionals leverage emerging solutions to better their business. Tune in to ConstructTech.tv to catch the latest show on the first and third Tuesday of each month. Like, view, and subscribe to ConstructTech.tv, bringing dynamic video to construction.
You've heard me bragging about Progressive Medical Center and how they've helped me feel so much healthier. But one thing, Dr. Agoli, that a lot of people come to you with is just unexplained pain. They just can't get any relief. Why can Progressive Medical Center's Pain Management Center help them?
First of all, we have to acknowledge that pain is for real, and you've got acute pain and chronic pain. Here's the problem. That acute pain turns to chronic, which is long-standing, and no one's getting to the root cause. There's several key diagnostic components that help us get to the root of what's causing this pain. Is it inflammation? Once we do a thorough evaluation to get to the root cause, determine if it's structural or if it's a metabolic issue. And this way, we put an individualized program for pain management involving correcting the spine, using certain injections when necessary, and we get our patients out of pain quicker, and they stay out of pain because we teach them how to live their life well.
Don't let yourself live in pain any longer. Get a hold of Progressive Medical Center today at progressivemedicalcenter.com.
Progressive Medical, this is your life, live it well.
The Last Battle is the show where we explore the latest and greatest on leadership, advocacy, science, and therapies in the battle against cancer. On The Last Battle, we'll be